Most protagonists are trying to achieve something. They want to become stronger. They want revenge. They want to save the world. But when I started creating Kurai Mamoru, the protagonist of Crimson Banner, I asked myself a different question. What happens when someone becomes obsessed with surviving? Not living, not thriving, just surviving. And that's where the foundation of Kurai's character begins. Section 1. The fear of death. One thing I've always found interesting is that almost every person fears death in some way. Some people ignore it, some accept it, some never think about it at all. But Kurai is different. He stares directly at that fear, and instead of running from it, he becomes obsessed with overcoming it. Not because he's brave, not because he's a hero, but because the idea of disappearing terrifies him. That obsession becomes one of the driving forces behind his actions throughout Crimson Banner. It's a simple concept, but it creates a lot of internal conflict. Because once someone becomes fixated on surviving at all costs, what are they willing to sacrifice? What lines will they cross? And what kind of person will they become? Section 2. Why I didn't want a perfect hero. When creating Kurai, I didn't want him to be the perfect protagonist. I didn't want him to be someone who always knew the right answer. I didn't want someone who immediately inspired everyone around him, just like Naruto, with his extreme determination, or Ichigo. Instead, I wanted someone who was flawed, someone who could be selfish, someone who could be stubborn, someone whose fear sometimes controlled him, because that's what makes characters feel human. The most interesting protagonists aren't the ones who already have all the answers. They're the ones who are forced to confront uncomfortable truths about themselves. And Kurai has a lot of uncomfortable truths waiting for him. Section 3. The core question of Crimson Banner. At its core, Crimson Banner explores a question that I find really interesting. What actually gives life value? Is it power, freedom, survival, or is it the people around you? Without spoiling anything, Kurai starts the story with one perspective, a very specific way of looking at the world. But the people he meets, the experiences he has, and the challenges he faces begin testing that perspective again and again. And that's where the heart of this journey comes from. Not just fighting enemies, but fighting ideas. Section 4. Why death is so important to the story. Death isn't just something that exists in the background of Crimson Banner. It's part of the story's DNA. The world itself is harsh, dangerous, unpredictable even. And because of that, every character develops their own relationships with mortality. Some accept it, some fear it, some challenge it. And Kurai? He refuses to bow to it. That doesn't mean he's fearless. In fact, it's almost the opposite. His obsession exists because of that fear. And I think that contradiction makes him interesting. And sometimes the people who fear something the most are the ones who spend their lives trying to conquer it. Section 5. What makes Kurai different? When people think of strong protagonists, they usually think about physical strength. But for me, strength isn't just about winning fights. It's about confronting who you are. It's about changing, growing. Kurai's journey isn't simply about becoming stronger. It's about discovering whether survival alone is enough. Whether living and truly being alive are the same thing. And that's the question I hope readers continue thinking about long after they finish a chapter. So that's how I approach creating Kurai Mamoru, a protagonist obsessed with divine death. Character driven by fear, searching for meaning, and a character whose greatest battle might not be against an enemy at all. It might be against the beliefs he's carried with his entire life. If you're interested in seeing how that journey unfolds, stay tuned for more Crimson Banner content. If you enjoyed this video, let me know what makes your favorite protagonist memorable, and I'll see you next time.